Today, I'm going to be talking about the much controversial topic of proof of funds. Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dakes. This is Share Dakes, and if this is your first time here, definitely welcome to the family. We're very happy to have you. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, thanks for coming back yet again, and I hope that you enjoy my content and you share with your family and friends. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, you know what to do. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share with your family and friends. If you've ever tried to travel to another country, apply for a visa, study abroad, do any of these things, then you definitely understand how important it is to convince your visa officer that you have enough money to fund your trip, your stay in the country, and all of those things, because that determines whether or not they would give you that visa, other things considered, right? Now, if you are a student and like you are just an average Nigerian and all of that, I'm saying Nigerian because I expect that, or I assume that a lot of the people that watch my channel are Nigerians, right? Then you understand that, especially with the fluctuating naira rates and all of that, you understand that raising proof of funds in foreign currency can be really tedious, really frustrating, because today you might have the money and then you wake up tomorrow, the naira has done what it does, and then you suddenly don't have enough, right? So how can you sort this out? I'm obviously going to use France as the base for this video because this is where I'm studying. This is the study visa that I applied for. This is the proof of fund that I had to do. So that's like, I'll be talking based off of my experience. So when you get admission into a French school, and you go through Campus France for your visa application and all of that, they give you a document, and which is supposed to be like some guideline of how to apply for your visa, the requirements and all of that. In that document, at least when I applied, the living expense for 1 year was pegged at 3.5 million naira, right? Which I think at the time was supposed to be the equivalent of, I don't know, 10,000 euros or something like that, something close. So yeah, 3.5 million naira. Maybe they're charging in naira because obviously you're applying from Nigeria. It doesn't make sense to charge you or ask you to show proof in another currency and all of that. So 3.5 million naira. However, that's not the only thing that you need to show. You also need to show the balance of your school fees. If you are coming for a 1-year course and your school fees is 250 euros, 300 euros, 1000 euros, whatever, then all you have to show is maybe the naira equivalent of your 1000 euros of balance of school fees, and then the 3.5 million naira that they've asked you for living expenses. If you have more, of course, show more, right? Like, you also don't want to show them back statement that shows like the exact amounts that they asked you for and all of that, because obviously while you're still in the country, wouldn't you leave? Wouldn't you have other expenses and all of that? So there's that. However, if your school fees is more on the high side, maybe 10,000 euros, 20,000 euros, crazy amounts like that, then you also have to show that you can pay that and you can still pay the living expenses. I said this to say that when people ask me, so how much is the living expenses, it varies from person to person, it varies from school to school, because the only thing we all have in common is the amount of living expenses that Campus France is asking for. But my school fees is not your school fees, not the other person's school fees. So you add the living expenses to whatever your school fees is, and that's how you come about how much you're supposed to show during your visa application as proof of fund. That said, how do you then come about this money if you don't have this money? There are several ways that in my interactions with people in YouTube videos that I watch for other countries, I realized that people have all sorts of ways of coming up with this money. The first one, which is what any visa officer expects, is for you to show cash, your money that you've saved up. Like, so first is cash savings, right? So you show your bank statement over maybe a 6-month period or whatever they request for, or 3-month period, whatever, to show that you actually have this money in an account that belongs to you and that you have access to. So for instance, if I want to apply for a visa, then I'm showing and I'm tendering an account in my name, showing that, oh, this money is in my account and the account belongs to me, so I definitely have access to this account, as opposed to showing account statement in someone else's name, and then I now have to convince the visa officer that, oh, don't worry, he's my family member, he would give me the money, we won't fight, and then you suddenly be like, I'm not sponsoring you again, and all of that. Which takes me to the second way that you can show proof of funds. So you can show proof of funds by using a sponsor, right? So people that are much younger, that are coming for bachelor's, undergraduates, I mean, nobody expects you to have that kind of money at 16, 17, 18 anyway. So whoever is sponsoring your education, your parents, your uncles, your family members, right, could then say that, oh, I'm the one footing the bill for personal expenses, for school fees, and blah, blah, blah. And here's my bank statement, here's proof of employment of business to show that I have recurring income to keep sustaining this person as they go through the journey that they're going to. However, I think that to also be safe, Campus France makes your sponsor, whoever you say is your sponsor, fill a form. Not to guarantee, because at the end of the day, once you get the visa, it's really not the problem if the person chooses not to give you the money again. But there's a form that the person has to fill, showing maybe how much they make, your relationship with them, and just basically signing that, oh, for the cost of this person's schooling, I'm going to be sending X amount, and here's proof that I have the money, or I have recurring income where the money will come from, and all of that. So that's the second way. However, if this person is not your direct family member, like it's not your dad, it's not your mom, it's not uncle, aunt, like close family member, maybe like some distant person, like your names are not even similar, blah blah blah, it might be an issue, because how do we prove that this person is your family member and that you're not just, trying to play the system and all of that? So you also have to be careful. Another thing that a lot of people do is to get student loans. Now, student loans are really popular in some parts of the world, and in North America, I believe a lot of companies even give student loans to international students, as long as you already have admission from a school and the school is affiliated with whatever company it is and all of that. So they pay the fees directly to the school. They don't give you the cash just in case you plan to spend it. Like, no, you cannot spend this money. So they pay the school fees on your behalf to the school, and then you pay the company back, like over whatever period has been agreed and at whatever interest rate has been agreed, right? However, it's not quite the same in Europe. Some student loan companies have affiliations with a lot of schools, mostly in the UK, in some other European countries. There are in France as well, but not a lot of the schools. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 30 schools or something like that. 30 is a lot, but then when you think about the number of universities and higher colleges here, then you know that 30 is not really a lot like that. So you have to, if you plan to use student loans, you have to also consider like what school you're applying to, if there's any affiliation with private organizations that can borrow you money and stuff like that. And the way to know is either do your research, check online for student loan, international student loan companies, and check their those lists are usually on their website. Check their website and see if the schools that you're interested in are on those lists, or ask the school that you're applying to if they have any funding options, if they are in partnership with any financial organization that can borrow you this money, right? The other way is that people borrow from what do you call them now? Other private institutions. So, oh, by the way, I realized that some Nigerian banks microfinance banks also offer this now. I mean, I haven't tried them, I haven't spoken to any of them, but I mean, I saw websites and names. I'll try to put some of them in the description box that claim to give student loans to Nigerian students studying abroad. I don't know what their requirements are, but if you're interested, definitely check them out and see, maybe that'll be easier as per Nigerian company to Nigerian student and all of that. What I was going to say is that people also then borrow money from other private companies, like other lending companies, and then they spread it over maybe the duration of your education. They might not give you a long-term loan like 5 years, but over the duration of your education, and then basically just you pay back. A lot of those have higher interest than the more international companies that offer this. So you have to bear that in mind, and obviously you should have better plan than planning to pay this from your 20 hours per week, whatever, especially if you also plan to pay your living expenses from the same 20 hours per week, right? So if you do 20 hours per week job, by the time you remove rent, living expenses, whatever, you might not have enough to pay back a loan. And trust me, I'm saying this from personal experience. So yeah, just bear that in mind and make sure that you do your calculations properly before you commit to. The last thing that people do, a lot of people borrow money from individuals, organizations, just for the purpose of the visa application. So like they borrow the money, they put it in their account, they apply for the visa, and then when the visa comes, they return the money back to the person that borrowed them, and then they figure out how to pay the balance of the fees and how to survive during the year, like vibes and blood of Jesus and stuff. So yeah, essentially people do that. And yeah, this is not an ad though, but I actually know a number of people or a number of organizations that do this. So if you're Nigerian, because obviously they're Nigerian organizations. So if you're Nigerian and you're interested in this kind of service, like, oh, maybe you even have some of the money, you're just looking to complete it or make up a little bit more or something like that, definitely reach out to me and I'll try to link you up with the appropriate quarters. And if you guys agree on terms and conditions, then by all means move on with them. So yeah, this is how people come up with proof of funds. Hope that you found this useful and hope that the links that I include in the description box will be helpful to you in terms of looking for organizations that may offer you international student loans, both in Nigeria and abroad. And I wish you the best of luck in your search for schools and in your visa application. Until the next time I see you, up until and have a great weekend.